Hey guys, Jason Balin at Hard Money Bankers. Sitting next to me, Zack Bryant, top producing agent with Northrop Realty. We're talking about millennials and working with millennials. If you're a real estate agent, a real estate investor, even a small business owner, you need to be working with millennials, but you need to learn and understand how millennials think. So we're going to jump into that right now. So first off, why don't you just define, Zack, who a millennial is?
Yeah, millennial is somebody who was born between 1981 and 1996, according to most sources. So people from their early 20s to their mid 30s.
And what are some traits that a typical millennial will have?
So millennials are definitely connected on social media. They're people that like things quickly, and they like to have on-demand service. And really that's more of what it's about, is the urgency that a salesperson might take with them versus that loyalty that's sort of embedded into culture, or I guess generations of the past.
Sure.
They're more interested in what can you do for me right now.
Now I know in your business you work with a lot of millennials, and they might be attracted to you because similar age brackets and things like that. I certainly understand that. Like over time, like what are real big advantages of working with millennials, if you had that as advice for a business owner?
Well, so being that they're so active on social media, they're very big into giving reviews.
Okay.
So if you have a great experience with a millennial, they're going to be more likely to digitally express that versus somebody who's older. So you should leverage those relationships and covet those relationships, because if they're saying something good about you, obviously, that's, people are going to see that, and that's going to really drive their choices as well. So a lot of those people, instead of calling and finding out information about a specific vendor, no matter what the industry is, they're going to go online, they're going to look at reviews more than anybody else. So you have to make sure that your online reputation is strong. They're going to be very savvy with gathering information, and again, I think that the fact that they want something quickly is a big thing, but you have to deliver that to them. And the advantage is, long term, they will continue to spread your name, and they'll really try to push you out to their base.
And what about some disadvantages that you've encountered over the years? And if they are disadvantages, how do you overcome them?
Sure. I think that millennials generally are a little bit more fickle than other generations, meaning that their loyalty can be in question.
Sure.
And so if they don't like something that you do, they might be more likely to jump than giving you that second opportunity. So you really have to stay on the ball, and that comes from figuring out what their needs are, asking the right questions, staying in front of them on more of a constant basis than somebody who, maybe one of your grandparents who's used to operating at a little bit of a slower pace. Millennials, you really have to be in front of them all the time, and you have to make sure their needs are met, because sometimes they won't tell you and they'll just bounce.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
So as a business owner, like we said, real estate investor, real estate agent, the goal of acquiring any client is to keep them as a long-term client. You want to sell a multiple house, you want to work with them over a long period of time, not just on this one transaction. So what are some tips that you've learned to keep a client long-term? Because obviously, they buy their first house in their 20s, they turn over, and they have a family, maybe they buy another house and they refer you to somebody else. So how do you keep them as a long-term client?
Well, so in general, I think most of my clients that I become close with, there's no really difference there between my friends that I knew before I was in real estate and the clients that I get while I'm in real estate. I like to integrate those people in my life, and for a millennial, what that means is they're all over social media, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're on LinkedIn, they're on Twitter. So if you're on those platforms and you're, like you guys do regularly, as you add value to what they're doing and you just stay in front of them, they're going to think of you. And because they're the main people that are watching the real estate shows, the HGTV $1 Million Listing, they are very into real estate. They're very interested in what I'm doing, what my lifestyle is as an agent. And so I can share that with them on an authentic level because I'm doing the volume of business. So I think that you need to, touch them on social media, stay in front of them, but you need to integrate them into your life, into your life. And that's really anybody that you're working with. But because of my age, because I'm a millennial and I attract those kind of buyers, I think that is a little bit unique to them in that they're dominating social media, so that if you're marketing on that space, they're going to be your primary person who's seeing it.
Nice. Great. Well, really good stuff related to millennials. Hopefully you're already working with millennials in your business. If you're not, you certainly should consider it. They're going to be there. They're younger right now, and they're going to work their way up. So hopefully you followed some of these tips. And if you have any questions related to this topic, please feel free to comment below.